Today I'm going to show you how to use Comic Life 3. Firstly, open the application. You can do this through the Finder Spotlight search. We've opened that. Alternatively, you could go through the Launchpad and open it from here. Firstly, you will see here on the left hand side, it's asking you to choose a template. Currently selected, it is all. However, we are interested in creating a comic. I'm going to select blank. Once you have chosen blank with styles, click on choose. This will then open the Comic Life application. Let's have a bit of a walk through Comic Life first. Across the top is sort of all your actionable items. So you can see there's save, we've got print, we've got the view, which is the layout in which you can see things on the page. You've got new page, you've got zoom in, zoom out, which allows us to zoom the page in, to zoom the page out. You've got styles, which allows us to choose different backgrounds. That also can be currently found down here on the bottom left hand side. We've also got bigger or smaller, we'll come back to that in a later. Instant Alpha, which you'll be familiar with from your computing class. Export, Inspector, Color and Fonts. Those we'll come back to later. Down here on the right hand side, this is where we can choose the comic layouts, and this is where we can bring photos in down the bottom. Along the bottom bar is all the different types of different speech bubbles and titles and text boxes that we can drag onto our comic. But first, let's get started. Firstly, select a type of layout that you would like to drag onto your page. I'm going to choose this one. Click down on it and drag it onto the page. It then brings up the box selection you have chosen onto your page. Then you can click on each individual box, and as you can see, now that you've got that box selected, you can change the style of that box to have different looks and different feels to your comic. I'm going to keep it fairly simple though. Another way is you can use these boxes to bring in photos. You can bring in photos from two areas, either from a file, like for me, might like to bring in a file from my images folder and drag and drop that into that space there. Alternatively, if you have the image on the iPhoto library, you can open iPhoto in the side section here, select the image and drag and drop that into your comic there. Once you've got a picture into the style, you can modify it using the style panel to add different effects to the look. You can also, by clicking on the photo, manipulate the size in which is being shared, or you can squish down so it can be smaller than the box. I'm going to keep that as big. Then, if we'd like to add a title, we click on the title section and drag and drop that again onto our space. We then type the title that we'd like. It moves into a particular font size. This is the default style. However, if we click down on style, we can choose from a number of different styles on the image. So we can have it with dog prints, we can have it looking like that, or maybe like a fast car look, but I'm going to choose this blue look. The other thing you may like to add is a text box to add information. You know, on a comic where it tells you what is the story. In here you can write information that furthers your story or informs what is going on. You can also increase the size of the font by clicking up on the top, as this is to make it bigger, or you can decrease the size by making it smaller. Of course, in the bar you can change the font type, the font size as well. You can bold particular sections. We are going to leave it like that. The next thing you might like to consider is adding a speech bubble to your work. Again, look down the bottom and select a particular type of speech bubble you may like to use. I'm going to select this one. Drag and drop that onto your timeline. You can then write the speech text you'd like to place on a particular area. You then click and drag that out if you'd like to make it bigger. Again, you can bring up the size of the words on that image. Again, you can go into the style panel and change the style of your speech bubble. That is entirely up to you. Again, if you click onto the speech bubble, you can manipulate how it actually looks, and if that's by clicking on the little red manipulation tool, or you can click on the blue thing to drag it out. So you can completely change the style of your speech bubble. I'm going to put another one in. So there's the red little section to manipulate it. There's the blue little section to manipulate it. Again, we can choose our styles. There we have it. That is a basic introduction to comic life. Of course, as you're going along, make sure you save your work by clicking on the Save tick box on the top left-hand side. You might like to save that in your source folder. I'm just going to pop it in here under my computing folder. Save. Then, when you have finished and you want to save out your work ready for submission, in the top bar, don't forget to go to Export. And click on Export. You can choose different styles. Today we're going to click on Images, leave all the details as they are. We click Next, but we of course choose where we want to put the file. And then we export that, and we can now use that image in a Pages document or a keynote ready to present our comic life strip.